everyone. So I hope you all are doing well out there. God has placed upon my heart to give this warning. This warning is for young women, especially those in their teens or early 20s, because this is a critical time in a young woman's life, and many times there are things that we don't understand at that time that we understand when we are older. And so this, I hope that, of course, you take this to God in prayer and ask Him whether or not this applies to you. So the dream was that there was a man that was hosting a sleepover. My brother warns me not to go. So initially I tell him that I'm not going to go, but I end up changing my mind and going anyway. Things seem fine at first. It was just me and two men there. One of the men ended up leaving, presumably to go home. The other man said that he was going to step out for a bit. So I ended up staying inside to wait, thinking that he was going to take me home when he returns. When he returned, I asked him if he was going to take me home. He looks at me as if that was a ridiculous request. He then tries to force himself on me. Somehow I had a gun on me, although I don't recall having one earlier in the dream. I shoot him once, but he's still standing and looks ready to attack again. I shoot him a few more times towards his chest. He seems to go down. I ran out of the apartment and tried to shut the door, but the door is too heavy, so I leave a crack. So it's interesting that, as I leave the apartment, it's just like the gun disappears. So I ran to the nearest SkyTrain service and I hop on, trying to get away as quickly as possible. I recall how deadly quiet the apartment was, making me wonder if there were other people there at all. I was distraught, remembering how my brother warned me not to go, and I was frantic to find police to report the crime to. I get to the bus station and plan on going home, where I would report what happened. However, the bus wasn't there, and I got the impression that I should go inside of the mall next to the bus station and report it ASAP. I find a service desk where I see a black woman and tell her that I need to call the police. I start breaking down crying, and she cries with me and gives me the phone. I call the police and I start making the report. So as I was making the report, my head was laying down and it seems like things are going black, like I was falling asleep, and the time went from afternoon to either evening or night. I feel a few strong taps on my shoulder. I thought it was a lady who gave me the phone, so I jerk up and turn to the side. I end up waking up from the dream in my own bed, feeling very disturbed. So I realized at that point that those strong taps were God trying to awaken me to write the dream down, which is why I'm here speaking to you today. So this dream, again to repeat, is a warning to young women. I don't know if it's one or several, but many times we get ourselves into bad situations, especially in our early teens and 20s, because we think we know it all. Those who are older and have more wisdom when it comes to life try to warn us, but we think we're strong enough to handle those situations. There are times when our intuition or our gut instinct is telling us that we should stop hanging out with certain people, or we shouldn't go to certain gatherings. This is the Holy Spirit speaking to you. However, we override those impressions due to peer pressure or sheer desire to be in a place where we should not be. Although there's no excuse for violations of any type, when we place ourselves in situations that we have received several warnings about, we are placing ourselves on Satan's vantage ground. For some of us, there are certain situations that we could have avoided or can still avoid, but we need to learn to listen to those who God has placed in our lives, and that still small voice telling us not to move forward. We do not need to experience certain things to know not to do it. We just need to hear the voice of God. My recommendation would be to cultivate your prayer life, learn to fast, sit before God's feet, and ask God to give you revelation on the types of relationships you should have in your life, and your life's purpose. This will dictate where you should go, how you should conduct yourself, and ultimately build your self-worth. So you don't have to settle for people and situations that are beneath God's calling on your life. There are many who have suffered and sacrificed their dreams and even their lives to impress people that didn't care. Don't let it be you.